what are the challenges apart from having a social life and health challenges? What other challenges do you think our elders go through?
They do not have many friends and family members around them to kind of take care of their social or emotional needs.
So I think through your initiative, you are doing a great job by doing that. So what suggestions you would want to give the younger generation?
We as children, as the younger adults, are aware of what our parents want.
So how have you started off after you started with that thought? How did you go further?
We would like to do more, we would like to have some activities, and that's how we started out into the whole events.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ, ಪ್ರಜಾವಾಹಿನಿಗೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. ನಾನು ಅರ್ಚನಾ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ. ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಲೈಫ್ ಸ್ಟೈಲ್ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ಎಲ್ಡರ್ಸ್ ಡೇ ಪ್ರಯುಕ್ತ ಎಲ್ಡರ್ಸ್ ಇಶ್ಯೂಸ್ ಹಾಗೂ ಅವರ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಎಂಗೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತನಾಡಲು ಸಿಲ್ವರ್ ಟಾಕೀಸ್ನ ಸ್ಥಾಪಕರು ನಿಧಿ ಚಾವ್ಲಾ ಅವರು ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಟುಡಿಯೋದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಿಧಿ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟೆಡ್ ದಿಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ಅಪ್ ಏಮಿಂಗ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಏಜಿಂಗ್ ಎ ಡಿಸೈರಬಲ್ ಗೋಲ್ ಫಾರ್ ಆರ್ ಸೀನಿಯರ್ ಸಿಟಿಸನ್ಸ್. ಶಿ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಎ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಟೀಮ್ who is running an online magazine which gives relevant information for elders. Let her express her views and thoughts about our elders' social engagement and the work she is doing through Silver Talkies. Namaskara Nidhi, welcome to my show. And first of all, let me congratulate you for all the amazing work you have been doing through Silver Talkies. And let's first get started off with, where did it all start?
Thank you, Archana, for having me today. Well, the Silver Talkies journey started actually, I think the idea was sowed long ago, sometime in 2011. And the idea came when I and my partner Reshmi, we saw our own parents who had retired, and we initially thought, or I had initially thought that, when my father retired, I thought it would be about having fun and going back to his hobbies. So when he retired, I actually, he was fond of painting and drawing, and my retirement gift to him was art supplies. Like, I bought a load of art supplies for him, and I thought he would find time to do all that. And he did it. He did it for about, I think, 2-3 months. And after 2-3 months of doing that, he kind of went back to his old routine, of running household chores, going to the bank, watching TV, going for his walk, but there was nothing beyond that. And when I started looking out for opportunities for him, I thought maybe I can find something where he could be a part of. He didn't have a very active social life because he was so busy with his shifts. He was an engineer with Delhi Vidyut Board, and so I couldn't come back with anything. There was nothing which was happening for seniors way back then. And similar story even Rashmi kind of faced in her with her parents, where her mother wanted an active social life, but there was nothing that she could facilitate for her. And that's how the idea for Silver Talkies came about. And so what started as a blog many years ago, over time it converted into an online magazine. And so that's how it kind of progressed. And our learnings over the course of few years, we also realized that seniors needed more than just information, so we kind of diversified into social engagement, we diversified into doing events and workshops. So to your question, yes, that's how the journey started.
So your own parents have motivated you guys to start a startup like this.
Yes.
So definitely an innovative one. So what are the challenges apart from having a social life and health challenges? What other challenges do you think our elders go through?
I think, yes, healthcare remains to be the key challenge that they face, because as they get older, definitely physical and mental capabilities kind of decline, right? But one of the other major challenges which we have come across, and which even studies and surveys have revealed, is lack of social engagement opportunities. So their social circles kind of become smaller, right? They are living alone because kids have moved out, or nuclear families are in vogue now, right? They are the trend. So they are left by themselves, and they do not have many friends and family members around them to kind of take care of their social or emotional needs. So loneliness and social isolation has been highlighted as one of the key issues that generation faces, and lack of opportunities to take care of that is also really huge. Because if you see, there are many healthcare organizations around. There are many organizations which probably would be taking care of home health care or their senior housing and stuff. But there is very limited work which is happening around keeping them happy and active. And that's the gap I think we have been trying to kind of address through our work. Because our agenda has primarily been that active aging is something which should be accessible to all seniors, and their retirement and their silver years should be all about staying happy, active and engaged, because if they are happy, if they are engaged, then definitely they will be healthier.
Previous generation were mostly focusing on my children, my responsibilities, my goals, and I think somewhere they have completely forgotten about their fun and enjoyment.
Yes.
So I think through your initiative, you are doing a great job by doing that. So what suggestions you would want to give the younger generation, if that can be a possibility that can make the older generation feel a little more comforted at home? See, today at this point, all they need is maybe some warm hugs and some care and love, even though they know a lot about or the lot of experience they are coming from, but they need a lot of tender care at times. So what suggestions you would want to give the younger generation?
See, my learning from my own parents and having interacted with seniors very closely over the years, I think one of the biggest challenges which stays is, as you rightly said, they are so used to taking care of their children and then their grandchildren that they have kind of neglected their own well-being. They don't know what to do for themselves, right? They get happiness out of taking care of others. They don't know how to take care of themselves. So I think it becomes really imperative and important that as we as children, as the younger adults, are aware of what our parents want, right? Like I as a mother would be very aware of what my child wants, right? But I may not always know what my mother is looking for or what my father needs. So I think that awareness and that sensitivity is very, very important. And so like how we kind of look out for opportunities for our children to keep them engaged, I think we as younger adults need to help identify such opportunities for our parents too. Understanding that how with age they also need to be part of social circles. We cannot leave them to be as the adults. They also need to be taken care of, because they may not really know what to do for themselves, right?
And we having a call once in a while or maybe having some conversation is not enough. They also need their set of friends.
Correct. Very
their
true.
set of like-minded people. So
Yes.
finding something like Silver Talkies online or some portal which can help them to engage in a social lifestyle with regular activities on go would be definitely helpful.
Yes, very true. It goes a long way in keeping them alert, in keeping their cognitive abilities up, refined and active. And also their physical well-being, is kind of enhanced, because they know they have to meet some friends, or they would be interacting with them. Right now it's virtually, right? But they know they have something to look forward to. So that keeps them, really alive and happy. Yeah. So that really goes a long way in improving their health and well-being.
So initially as kids, all we were taught were like collect some monetary fund through HelpAge India and support some elders, or just be friendly with our own elders at home. But this initiative of bringing all the elders together and doing some activity for them or doing some regular engagement for them is something really initiative. So how have you started off after you started that thought? How did you go further? What were your challenges in between?
So I think challenges, one, of course, so when we started, as I said, we started with the whole online magazine initiative, right? But then the feedback that we got from our seniors was that we would like to do more, we would like to have some activities. And that's how we started out into the whole events and workshop space for them, which are designed specially with seniors in mind, like even smallest of things which you would think of, but you may not really always plan through it, like the location, that there should not be many steps, there should be a washroom around, right? The smaller and finer details of it. And the biggest learning that we had when we started on that, so typically we would assume that seniors would like anything which is to do with something spiritual, religious, right? Or we may say that, okay, yoga is good for them, right? But our huge learning has been that there is no end to learning for them and the kind of activities that they can engage in. So our community of seniors has done theater workshops with us. They have done ballroom dancing. They have done they have been part of fashion show and they have danced on stage.
Marvelous.
Right? So, and they take to it like fish to water. Once their initial inhibitions are gone, they are really happy doing all that experimenting and trying it out. Right? I have had seniors who have probably come to the stage, performed on a stage for the first time, right? Or they have danced like after 40 years or something, right? So when you hear such stories, it really warms up your heart, and you know that there is so much more they can do if you give them an opportunity.
I think even they wouldn't realize that they have such capabilities. After a point, they would be like, we are done with life. It's retirement, and all we need to do is maybe stay home and take care of the kids, the grandkids. So by this initiative, I think they are even having an opportunity to explore their interests.
Correct.
So that's great. Our elders come with a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge. And in what way has that helped you in your work?
Okay. Yeah, they do come with, very, very rich experiences. And, so we have also tried to kind of utilize their skill and experience when we are planning our work. So, for example, if we have had our community members, say for example, there's a lady who is very good at cooking, right? That's her passion. She has actually conducted cooking workshops for our other members, right? We have a Reiki healer in our group with whom we plan to kind of organize a session with her. So we kind of identify such people who we have done Ikebana workshops with another senior, right? So if somebody has a skill, right, we try and present it to others, right? So that everybody else is part of that learning exercise, right? So, for example, our ballroom dance classes were led by a 70 plus dancer himself.
Wow.
Yeah. So wherever we have an opportunity where seniors can lead the workshops, we try, to organize that, and those usually we will try and open out to the younger audience as well, so that there is that intergenerational exchange which happens, right? For example, we had done one event where this was on for Children's Day, where we had invited about 4 seniors who came and shared their growing up stories, memories of their own childhood, and it was attended by children. So the kind of questions that the children had for them, what kind of games you played, and in fact, one brother-sister duo who were part of the event, they were carrying these, those matchbox phones that they used to make on the thread, right? And the kids were, so excited to see that they hadn't seen all of it, right? So trying to bridge that gap through our stories, through the stories that we write, through the events that we do. So we have been trying to kind of even capture a lot of those oral memories through our magazine, where we, ask them to write stories for us, ask them to share their memories with us. So I think, yeah, we've tried to leverage their experience as well and their knowledge too.
That's a beautiful combination also. It's a great learning. So apart from that, what is their review about you? What are the elders saying? What they have to say about you?
Maybe this is a question you should ask them.
So what is the kind of review you're getting from them?
I think their response is something which also keeps our passion going, right? So they do enjoy what we present to them. I think the broad feedback or a unanimous feedback that we have received from them is that they love the variety of events and the variety of workshops that we do for them, and they like bonding with other people, So we have this social club which is open to anybody who's 55 plus, and where they become a member and they kind of are part of this community that they belong to, right? So now they know each other by their names, they know who stays where, what their interests are. So they tend to bond with each other, and many of them have started even connecting with each other outside the whole Silver Talkies framework, right? They may call up on each other, check what's happening. Even when things were all right before COVID, right, they would also go out together, go for plan movie out dates together and stuff. So the idea is basically to give them that friendship, that companionship which may be missing for them, right? So that I think has been a huge takeaway for them. from being part of this community. Yeah, and then yeah, I think they love the kind of thought process that we put into organizing anything, right? And the variety that we bring to them. So that has been usually been the feedback.
Lovely. So, what are your methods of actively engaging the elders? What is your process of doing it?
Well, you know, there is the active aging framework. If you, you know, by definition involves 7 different elements, okay, starting from physical, mental, social, emotional, vocational, spiritual, and environmental. Okay, I think of these 7, we have been able to look at least 5 of them. Where our effort has always been that through the variety of work or the events that we organize, it touches upon each of these elements, whether it's physical well-being, social well-being, or emotional well-being, vocational as well, because we do kind of bring to them, you know, opportunities to volunteer where they can be part of a social impact framework. We also have been trying to get them second career opportunities to who might be looking for it, right? So yeah, so you know, starting from talks by experts which are around creating awareness on health, nutrition, legal, financial issues, can be anything, right? So we invite experts to create that awareness, to doing skill building workshops where we conduct tech classes for them. We have done, you know, we recently finished a workshop which was completely around financial aspects. You know, Money Smart Seniors workshop we called it, and it was around covering financial aspects or legal, like things like will writing and stuff, right? So from awareness to skill building to doing a lot of hobby workshops where we do theater, dance, and all those things, art workshops, and then when things were all right, doing a lot of fun activities as well. So we are still continuing to do fun activities online, but yeah, so it's like an entire plethora of what they would like to do.
So, pre-COVID was much easier for you to organize. So, how has post-COVID or post-pandemic has been?
Actually, I wouldn't say it was easier to organize. I think it had its own challenges. So challenges were that we were restricted only to Bangalore. So any activity we had to find a physical space to hold it, right? The benefit, of course, was that the camaraderie or the rapport which built with, you know, among members when they met each other was class apart. You know, it was really impactful. Right now, virtually, we have been doing our events in the whole COVID scenario. The benefit has been, I think there has been a silver lining to it. One, because now we are not restricted to Bangalore, right? It has allowed us to interact with seniors across India. In fact, even outside of India, we've had people
No
attending.
barriers at
no
all.
barriers, no physical boundaries at all, right? So we've had people joining in from Dubai, from Kuala Lumpur. In fact, today that we have a workshop on YouTube and somebody's joining in from Canada, right? So physical boundary is not a limitation anymore. The other benefit has been that it has, you know, allowed us to work with experts from other cities as well.
Oh, lovely. Yes.
Right. So, for example, we did a music therapy workshop over last 2 months, and the music therapist is based out of Hyderabad. In fact, she became a member too. She's joined the club as well. Right. So, I have had people becoming members from Chennai, Delhi, Hyderabad. So, cities are becoming immaterial now. Right. We are currently having a creative movement classes going on, and the facilitator is in Delhi. Right. So, that has been the benefit where we have been able to really get through to experts residing in different cities and conduct these workshops. So, you know, really
Lovely.
get the best
of everything you could ask
yeah,
for.
Yeah.
But
so,
not everybody are tech savvy, or
Correct.
some people who are very active members might not be that well versed with the technological upgrade that has happened
Correct.
suddenly. So, how do you handle that kind of challenge?
So yes, initially I think it was a huge challenge where it took some time for the seniors to adapt to technology, even join Google Meet or Zoom sessions and stuff. And it still stays as a challenge. So we have been kind of organizing tech workshops to make them a little more savvy. We have tried to send them videos on WhatsApp and all to kind of tell them how to get onto Zoom. But yeah, some are quicker at adapting. Some are still kind of hoping that things will go back to normal. So they still haven't really joined the virtual train. So that challenge I think stays, but I'm hoping over time, you know, how they have adopted Facebook or a YouTube or a WhatsApp, they will get used to the whole virtual format as well. yeah, but that still remains as a challenge. Yeah, which we are working towards solving. Solving slowly.
Apart from allowing them to have these platforms to learn something new, attend some kind of workshop, what other things are you trying to do? What other ways are you helping our elders?
Okay. I think some of the things which we have introduced in the last few months, one, so for example, virtually when we went, right, as I said, we have started these creative movement classes or music therapy classes and stuff. We got very interesting feedback, okay. So for example, one lady I remember telling me that, going virtual has allowed her to attend more. That travel time and everything's kind of gone, right? Somebody said, I enjoy being part of these classes because now I'm not physically conscious of being around people. I'm in my own space, so I'm comfortable, being part of these dance classes or whatever we are doing right now, right? So it has helped them open up as well, right? So during this course, we introduced, as I said, we have introduced volunteering opportunities for them. So we have also tied up with two NGOs, Enable India and Make Shala, where for Enable India is an organization which works with people with disabilities. So our members have actually been recording audio recipes or audio stories, which goes on to their their community radio. Yeah. And then the other initiative with Make Shala is they work with children. So they help in educating children across the country. So they create these modules for teachers, and so their modules so far have only been in Kannada and in English. So our members are now kind of helping them translate these lessons into local languages. Right now they're working on Hindi and Tamil. So once that is done, so it will reach out to more children across the country, right? So, so we have been trying to open doors for more opportunities for them. So there are plans to, even start clubs by interest groups. We are planning an online portal where we can reach out to more seniors across the country. They can have more interactions. So there is
and
lot
also
more
utilize
to do.
their knowledge and help the
Yes.
next generation too.
Yes, very
That's
much.
a great initiative.
Very much.
This is amazing to know. So what about a new person wanting to join in Silver Talkies, to become a member and to be an active participant in your workshops?
It's a very, very simple thing. The only qualification one needs to have is they should be 55 plus. So they can reach out to us, write to us at connect@silvertalkies.com, or they can reach us through our Facebook page or our website. And they can right now join us from any city, and they become a part of a WhatsApp group where they interact with each other. And every month we have activities which are exclusively for members, so they can attend that in addition to being part of our yoga classes or whatever is going on at that point in time. So I actually, in any given month, we have at least about 6 to 8 activities which are happening for seniors. Yeah, and then they are of
Can you share some of those experiences?
So, for example, right now for World Elders Day, we are putting together a virtual talent show where some of the members are actually getting ready to participate and perform. So we have a theatre performance coming up, which has been put together with help from a volunteer who's a storyteller and a theatre artist. And we have a storytelling which is going to happen by 2 members. They would be sharing their own stories. There is music going to be presented. Some of them are singing live, some of them have done it pre-recorded. There's going to be some dance. So yeah, so we I think all of us are very excited about it because one, the format is new. To be doing it virtually. Till last year we were actually on stage doing these things. But I think the learning has been that all of us are very adapting. We quickly respond to change. I think while all of us miss still being physically around each other, but the way they have been connecting with each other virtually also, and how they have been keeping themselves busy, I think it's really inspiring because many of them have utilized this time to learn many new things, things which they could not do earlier, either with us or even outside our circle, right? checking in on their friends, spending time with family. I remember one couple telling that how they have been engaging their granddaughters who are based in different cities. So every day at around 5 o'clock or something, it's their babysitting hour. So virtually they are babysitting. So
hour.
every day, the grandparents would prepare, what are they going to do fun today?
Wow.
Yeah, and they do that, right? Another senior, he stays by himself. He's a retired colonel, and he was caught in a situation where he couldn't call his cook, right? So he has actually learned cooking in the last few months. Yeah, he's experimenting with food, and he was not at all technologically savvy. With our support and help, he has learned to be online, and he's actually attending our tech workshops. He signed up for all the tech workshops which are happening, and ensuring that he comes up to speed and updated
The best
with
of
technology.
what you could make in this COVID
Yeah.
times. True. In the midst of all these learnings, what is your best takeaway?
That age is actually a number, so what they say that, it sounds like a very cliche statement that age no bar or age is just a number, but it definitely is. When we come across stories of seniors, or in our group also, when you come across very inspiring seniors, people who have started running marathons in their 60s, who are part of Ironman competitions, or who have become entrepreneurs in their second careers, right? Wow. Yeah, so so really age is really not is really a number. It's not a deterrent for those who want to believe in it. So for example, in our community, we address everybody by their first name. We don't call them uncles and aunties. Even if it's an 85-year-old or a 90-year-old, the person is called by their name, and they like that. They really like that.
It's not about respect, it's about their individuality.
Correct.
You call them by their name.
Correct. So they really love that. They don't feel old that way, right? And learning from each other, cracking jokes with each other, dancing with each other, I think that really keeps them happy.
Alive.
Yes, it keeps their spirits high. Right? They forget what their ailments are, what their issues are, what's bothering them, which joint is hurting, right? So it kind of helps them forget that for that brief moment, at least, when they are with others.
Yeah, otherwise staying home thinking only about the aches and pains and responsibilities is not the solution.
Correct.
Here they have a platform, and absolutely a different one from the regular routine things they could ever do.
Yeah.
So that's great. So what are your future plans, and where do you intend to take Silver Talkies in future?
Well, my dream for Silver Talkies is that we probably take active aging to the doorstep of every senior in this country. But yeah, it's easier said than done. But I would like to see us in next few years reaching out to seniors across the country, and hopefully in the future even cater to local languages, have programs in local languages like Hindi, Bengali, Tamil and all, so that we can reach out to a larger population. But yeah, for now everything happens in English. But yeah, eventually I want to be there. And I think staying virtual, I think that's probably going to be the way forward, because it allows a lot more to happen, and it also keeps the pricing in check. Right? When you're doing at a physical space, you have to accommodate for all that too, right? And it's easier to deliver, and as I said, you can work with experts from everywhere.
Enables you better.
Yeah, so it has its own advantages. Right? So we will have some form of physical engagement as well, but we will like to continue with the virtual engagement. So we are actually in the process of setting up an online portal which would cater to seniors across the country.
Thank you so much for that, Nidhi. I truly admire you for your work and the initiative you have launched and successfully going ahead in these COVID times too. I hope Silver Talkies grows and reaches to many more people. Thank you for coming, Nidhi, and giving your precious time to us.
Thank you so much, Archana, for calling me here today.
Thank you.